Hey guys, what's up? It is Nathan here, and I'm doing a little bit of a different video today. It is a Nerf Through the Ages video, but it is not a Nerf Through the Ages video on a specific blaster, because recently, as my collection has been growing, and especially after my FoamCon and War trip, I have found myself with a lot of a specific series of blasters. I don't exactly know why, but I have been hunting for them for quite a while, off and on, for the last year or so. And now I have enough blasters that I believe, from that series, that I believe I can talk about them. So without further ado, here is my Nerf Through the Ages video on the Nerf Rebelle line. So yeah, the Nerf Rebelle line. It was released about 2013 along with the Zombie Strike line. It was Nerf kind of going into more gimmicky blasters, I would say. Now the In-Strike and In-Strike Elite line had plenty of really gimmicky blasters, but the Rebelle line and the Zombie Strike line were what Nerf started to become for a while, and Rebelle was specifically oriented as the girl version. I love the Nerf Rebelle line for a lot of reasons, but yeah, it was specifically marketed for girls, and I think that was the main problem with the Rebelle line. It wasn't the blasters, it was the fact that they were marketed for girls, because I know a lot of people who really love these blasters, and I myself have gotten several of them recently, and that is because I really like the blasters, and also I wanted to do this video. And there are some that I've used as my sidearms for a long time. So, to start off, what is the Rebelle line? What did it do? What were they? Basically, they were pink, purple, blue colored blasters that had smaller grips than normal for female children, I guess, and they were very, very interesting for that reason. They had more of this kind of deco on them, and they were still very, very cool. They were just a different color, basically, is kind of what it boils down to, and they had different ergonomics and a different style of shell. What do I mean by a different style of shell? Well, the shells were significantly smoother than standard blasters or standard elite blasters, and they were, in my opinion, very, very nice looking, and they still are. And so that was basically what distinguished the Nerf Rebelle line from other Nerf lines such as In-Strike and In-Strike Elite and Zombie Strike. Now, there were some blasters that were basically just Elite blasters or Zombie Strike blasters redone in a different color and a different shell. For instance, we have the Nerf Zombie Strike Hammershot and the Rebelle Sweet Revenge. These were basically the exact same blasters, just in different shells and with different ergonomics. And personally, I prefer the Sweet Revenge's shell and ergonomics to the Hammershot because it is smoother, they paint up very nicely, and the handle is, in my opinion, more comfortable because I do not like that fake leather wrap or the fake wrap that's on the Hammershot. And so I really, really like this blaster. I only have one currently. I plan on getting a few more, but I really, really like these blasters. I love the Sweet Revenge. And there is a blaster in the same kind of style that I actually love more, which actually doesn't have an Elite successor or an Elite version, and that is, of course, the 4 Victory. I have 2 of these, and I've painted them up, and these have been my personal sidearm at indoor arenas for quite some time, and they are very, very nice, and I love them a lot because they are very, very nice. They perform very well, even though they're internally unmodified, and I really enjoy them. And they have a very simple paint job, but they've served their purpose very well, and I have owned 2 of them, and they are painted exactly like this. So I really like those blasters. I love the 4 Victory. I actually don't have a stock 4 Victory, unfortunately, so that is a blaster that I really enjoy. And the Rebelle line has some amazing blasters. But let's get back to the Elite variations versus Rebelle variations. There was the N-Strike Elite Strife, which was released in 2013, of course. And then we have the Rebelle Rapid Red, which I actually don't know when this was released. I believe it was also 2013. But this was a semi-automatic flywheel blaster that ran on 4 AA's, and it was in a very similar form factor. And I really like this blaster too. It's not as comfortable to me as the Sweet Revenge and the 4 Victory because it's got a small handle, but I do still really like it, and it is one of those that I really wish I had more of personally because these are very nice and they paint up really nicely. And so I really like that blaster. There are several other blasters that were just basically remakes. For example, you could argue that the 4 Victory was basically just like a Doomlands Persuader, but I don't really see that. And then there are several other Nightfinder variations, like the Pink Crush is basically a version of the Nightfinder or the Fire Strike. Stuff like that. The Retaliator had its own Rebelle version, which I actually don't remember what that's called. I don't own one because it doesn't really interest me, I guess. But there were some blasters that were kind of just awesome in their own right. They weren't even just elite versions, like the Fearless Fire. I really like this blaster. This is a very nice blaster. It is a semi-automatic. I believe it's a 20-round cylinder, and it holds, as I said, it holds 20 darts, and it's semi-automatic like a Barricade, or this actually was a Rebelle version of the Nerf Alien Menace Incisor. And so that's what this blaster was, basically. And it was in such I really like this form factor, personally. And it is a very nice blaster. I'm very happy. I got this one from my buddy Brian, Toys on the Side. And a lot of these blasters actually came from him. And so I am very happy I do own one because they're very nice. And they're also quite difficult to get a hold of. So I'm really happy I own one of these. I also own some less favorable ones. For example, I own this, thanks to Nerfinator. I own this. I actually don't own any of the arrows, but it's meh. It's basically just like that freaking the single shot the Zombie Strike one, the Zombie Strike single shot, the Wrath Bolt. It's like that, but Rebelle. So it's meh. I don't particularly care about it, but I'm glad I own one at least. And as you also saw, I own several other blasters. I own a Guardian crossbow, which I actually really do like. I really like the ergonomics of it, and it's very, very nice, but it's basically just a pump action strong arm with a stock. So that's that, I guess. There are some amazing blasters in the line, as I mentioned, and one of the ones that is kind of a legendary blaster nowadays is the one that I actually showed off first, which is the Nerf Rebelle Messenger. It's a single shot, well, not single shot, it's a 3-dart Smart AR Nightfinder style blaster, which actually I do not believe has an elite equivalent other than like the Triad. So this blaster is actually quite unique in a lot of ways. And it also was praised at its launch for having about an 80 FPS chrono velocity. So it was actually a very, very powerful pistol when it came out, and it was really nice. And I really like these. I wish I had more of them, but these are very, very nice, and they're kind of legendary. At least they were when I got into the hobby. And so these are super cool, and I'm glad I at least own one because it is very neat. And I actually bought this one from Blaster Barn at FoamCon because they had new in-box Rebelle Messengers, and I wanted one because it was neat. And Chicken cut me a deal on this one, so I'm really glad that I got one because I actually didn't own a Rebelle Messenger. So now I do own a Rebelle Messenger. And so the other one that I have that's not great is this one. I don't even know what the hell this is called. I think it's called the Heartbreaker Bow or something. I don't know. It's garbage. I do not like this blaster at all. I got this one for free from someone. I do not even remember who it was. That didn't even work. I got this one from a, yeah, it's worse than a Jill. I got this one from a friend. He just gave it to me for free. And I'm like, okay, because I knew I'd eventually do this video. But here's one that's actually better, that I can change my tune on a bit, and that is the Codebreaker crossbow. And I believe this one has the locks removed. I also got this one from Nerfinator. And it is kind of cool, actually. It's a Springer, or it's a stringer, I should say. And it has some issues. It definitely has some... It has some issues, this version, but it's a very nice... There's some weird stuff going on with it, but it is still a very nice... It's very nice when it works. When it doesn't work, it's kind of infuriating, personally. But you can't have everything, and this one is quite old. So it's very nice though, and I really like it. It's very silent, which I really like, and it's interesting. A lot of these blasters aren't particularly war practical, but they are quite interesting, and so I figured might as well do a video on them. But yeah, so the Rebelle line kind of fizzled out several years ago, about, I don't know, 2017 or so. They started to fizzle out along with stuff like the Alien Menace and Doomlands line. Unfortunately, I really like all three of those lines. I don't particularly like the Alien Menace line, but it's cool. I really did like the Rebelle and Doomlands line, and unfortunately they did kind of fizzle out about that time. So I never really got my hands on them when they were new, but I do have my hands on them now, and so I'm definitely really happy about that. So without further ado, what are your thoughts on the Rebelle line? Let me know in the comments below, because I really like them, and I know they were made for girls, but they are very nice in my opinion, and I really enjoy them. So with that being said, I would like to thank you all very much for watching this video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Comment what you think of the Rebelle line and what your favorite blaster of the line is, and I will see all of you guys later. Bye.